So The Matrix Resurrections is coming out this December, and as many of you know, this channel right here, World of Geekdom, was the first one to give you the complete spoilers for the film back in June. Supposed spoilers. Whatever, I have to say that. And what I want to do today is take a look at two of the TV spots slash teaser trailers for The Matrix Resurrections that I didn't talk about yet on the channel, and kind of give you guys, like, explain what's in these trailers when it pertains to the story of The Matrix Resurrections. Now, if you have not, first of all, this video will contain spoilers for The Matrix Resurrections. If you want to know the full plot details, up in the cards right over there in the upper right corner of the screen, you should have a card pop up that will link to my video I did back on the 18th of June. I think it was June 18th. Giving you all the details of the movie before we even got a first trailer come out. I had all the details. So today, I want to go into what we see in the trailer and kind of explain to you guys what is in there. Now, the trailers we're going to look at today is not the main trailer. It's the red pill and blue pill trailers that came out as teasers. And I want to explain to you guys what is in these trailers and give you context for what's going on. But it will contain spoilers. So let's go ahead and get to it. We're going to start right now with the blue pill trailer. Here we go. Obviously the code of the Matrix.
Do you remember how you got here?
This is the voice, that is the voice of the analyst played by Neil Patrick Harris, the main villain of the film. This scene right here is in the coffee shop right after Neo and Trinity reunite later in the movie. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my spoiler video up there and you'll have full context. But later in the film, they go to a coffee shop. Well, Neo goes there earlier in the film, but he does reunite with Trinity, and here is when the SWAT team, this is the SWAT team right now that's working with the analyst. They're firing their shots and Neo's using the power of the one to block the bullets.
You've lost your capacity to discern reality from fiction.
He's basically telling Neo that he doesn't know what's really going on, because Neo's having dreams about the Matrix and about his past life because he's had his memory wiped away. This shot right here of the people breaking out of the window, that's Bugs at the beginning of the film being chased down by Agent Morpheus. Because in this movie, Morpheus is not really Morpheus. He's a codec that was created by Neo, who reprogrammed the Matrix in his own image. And his memories of Smith and of Morpheus kind of become part of this new Matrix. But it's not the original Morpheus. It's a codec of Morpheus that has the memories of Morpheus, but he becomes an agent. And that's kind of what this is. The very first shot of the film, it's Bugs escaping Agent Morpheus. As the film progresses, though, he remembers who he is. He has memories of the original Morpheus, who at this point is dead because Morpheus died 60 years ago. Because this movie's 60 years after Matrix Revolutions.
What's real is here and now. 2:13 p.m.
It's interesting because I'm not really sure what the significance of those numbers, but I will tell you that even though I think the movie should be called The Matrix Rebooted, because it is a reboot of the first movie, the reason why Lana Wachowski chose to call it The Matrix Resurrections is because apparently, I believe it was her mom and also one of her best friends passed away, and in order to cope with it, she wrote this story of what if we went back to the Matrix, what if Neo and Trinity were still alive, what if they were somehow resurrected, you know, along with, you know, the codex of Agent Smith and the codex of, you know, Morpheus. So it's kind of like the writer's way of, you know, coping with the tragic loss in their life. That's kind of a cool story. I think Lana said that at I think it was at a panel. I think a panel recently, actually, about this movie.
Anything else is just your mind playing tricks on you.
I'm actually really happy to go back into the Matrix world, because even though the sequels were not as good as the first movie, without question, I love the world of the Matrix. I love the sci-fi martial arts aspect of it. I love the characters. I love just everything about it, you know, and I wish that I do wish they made more Matrix movies, maybe about like the Merovingian or prequels, because I just love that universe. You know, it's great. Let's keep going here. This shot is a shot of Neo when he's talking to the analyst. He's telling him about a dream he's having and about him jumping off of a building. And the people there that you see on the right there, they are people that work for his company, which is actually, I believe it's Warner Brothers. He's writing the code for the Matrix. It's very meta, like I said in the original thing. And this is him thinking about jumping off of the building. This is earlier in the movie, very early in the film. At one point at the end, him and Trinity do jump off the building and they fly together. Here's a shot of the city, pretty basic.
Becomes a problem.
Now, these are the blue pills that the analyst is giving Neo in order to keep his mind suppressed, because he knows if he takes one of the red pills, he will know the truth about the Matrix and his past. So he has to keep prescribing him these blue pills that are going to keep him subdued and keep him, you know, basically a slave of the system.
Fantasies and danger.
That shot right there of the gun, that's Bugs. When Bugs is with Morpheus, trying to take Morpheus to figure out who he is. Or it could have been Neo, I don't remember exactly. This shot right here, the helicopter, there's the blue pills. This is near the end of the film with Neo and Trinity on top of the building. That's the blue pills. He's not really sure about his life.
We don't want anyone to get hurt.
This is Neo in the real world, right? And, you know, those of you who have seen my videos, you know that Keanu Reeves is going to be both the John Wick Keanu Reeves with the long hair and like the goatee in the Matrix, but when Neo comes to the real world, when he wakes up in the real world in this movie, he's back to being 2003 Keanu Reeves. No facial hair, no long hair, back to how he looked in the original movies.
Do we?
Okay, that was the blue pill. Now, let's look at the Matrix Resurrections red pill trailer, which has a few other things going on. Let me get some water. My mouth is kind of dry, so that's why I'm stuttering a bit. Let's go. Now, this voiceover is done by the new Morpheus.
This is the moment.
And also the way he talks is very much like the original Morpheus. I want to go back to that shot right there. That is a shot of Trinity near the end of the film. Just, you can tell it's her. I mean, look at the face. That's Carrie-Anne Moss being a badass. This is after her powers are awakened by her connection with Neo.
For you to show us what is real.
Here's Bugs right here. I'm not sure exactly who she's firing at. I think it's Agent Morpheus. And this is Morpheus telling Neo, because the story is, again, very similar to the first Matrix. Bugs knows that Morpheus, that the Agent Morpheus was originally based on a real person, the original Morpheus, who was not a bad guy. And Niobe's still alive in this film. Jada Pinkett Smith is in this movie, but she's older. But you know, in the movie, Morpheus gets his memories back and remembers that Neo is indeed the one, and they're trying to get him to awaken his powers and unlock his powers again.
Right now.
I love this trailer, by the way. This editing is beautiful.
You believe it's 2:11 p.m.
But it's not. Nothing can be further from the truth. That's a fake time, because remember, in the first Matrix, they make it think it's 1999, but it's actually closer to 2199. Actually, Morpheus was wrong, because if there were 6 Matrixes, as we found out in Reloaded, then that would mean that the timeline could be anywhere between the year 2000, 2800. 2800 could be the time period. Difficult to say. It depends on what you believe and the time frame of how many ones there were and how long it took them to reboot the Matrix. But that's a whole other, that's Matrix lore. Listen, I love Matrix lore, y'all. I could talk to y'all about Matrix lore all day.
But that couldn't be further from the truth.
And this is Morpheus actually waking up, trying to discover who he is. Because like I said, it's a codec based on the original Lawrence Fishburne character.
Could be. This is the first.
Here are obviously these are the machines in the real world. But what's going on here? I will tell you what's going on here. This is actually a flashback of the machines rescuing Trinity's body and Neo's body, because both of them are still alive and they get jacked into the Matrix, and the machines actually rescue their bodies. Now, why? We knew that Neo's body was in their possession because Matrix Revolutions ends with him in their capacity, but they found Trinity, who was dead. If you remember, she was impaled when the ship crashed into the Machine City, and the machines rescue her body, and they take her and hide and jack her into the Matrix. Somehow they heal her and they jack her into the Matrix. The movie will show more details on that. Neo, of course, gets jacked in, and they kind of use him to kind of reprogram the Matrix. And at some point, Neo helps reprogram it. So the Matrix that we're in right now in this movie is the seventh or even the eighth version, depending on. I don't exactly know because I haven't seen the movie myself, but I know based on people I've talked to. So it's not. It's a different Matrix than the one we saw in the original three movies. It's a newer version. But anyways, here's the machines, the squids, basically rescuing the body of Trinity.
Today of the rest of your life. But if you
This is Agent Smith. Now, in the movie, he's not really sure he is Smith, but he's another character who was, again, a codec of Smith, because, like I said, Neo helped reboot the Matrix. His memories of Morpheus and Smith are still there, and thus, here we have Smith. Now, I was told that this shot right here of his mouth getting closed, that's trailer trickery. That scene is not in the movie. I could be wrong. I was told this. Maybe my source didn't remember everything, but he was pretty sure that that's trailer trickery and that's not in the movie at all. But that is Smith. And actually in the film, he does say, you know, Mr. Anderson and all that stuff. And there is a fight between Neo and Smith in the middle of the film. But it's not like the Revolutions fight. It's more so Neo trying to remember his powers. He's not at max power at the beginning of this movie. My bad. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so this is the SWAT team in the coffee shop firing. This is right before Neo blocks. That was in the trailer. And this is the bike chase scene at the end of the film with Trinity and Neo escaping, with the whole riot going on in the city.
you gotta fight for it.
This is Neo going to the coffee shop at the end of the film, where he's supposed to confront Trinity, and that's where the analyst says, if she remembers, I'll let you go, and if she doesn't, you'll be my slave, and then something like that. I forget the actual verbiage, and then she does remember, and then Neo and Trinity are reunited. So that's it. That is everything I know so far about the movie. I got the full spoilers up, of course, and if you check those out here on the channel. Thank you again for your support. Have a great one, and I look forward to talking more about The Matrix as we get closer to the release date. Catch you soon.